Hello, yes, I'm Martin Pol, and I'm pretty senior in the testing area. Actually, I'm 67 years old, and I've been working in the testing area for almost 40 years now. So some people blame me for process, Mr. T-Man. It's okay, I like that. Okay. In the last 20 years, I've been involved in implementing structured testing, test process improvements, helping companies to outsource their testing worldwide. That's what I've done, and that is also kind of request. Would you tell something about that? I've been working in almost all countries of Europe, and this is not for bragging, just for telling you. In the US, Canada, but also in Latin America, Brazil, Mexico, in Asia, did quite some work in India, but also the last couple of years in China, in Australia, and so on. And is there a difference? I can tell you there is. There's a lot of difference. If you look at our testing world, what we see that on one hand people are working in a very structured way. We are working very disciplined. That's where we come from. Process driven. Actually using standards. In fact, very inflexible way of doing. And that's why, one of the reasons, why we started working in an agile way, in a more flexible way. Being creative. Not process, but people driven. Actually skills driven. That was what we see. Agile, of course, using Scrum or Kanban, whatever you're using. Exploratory testing, exploratory improvement, etc. In fact also, and that's kind of implicit of Agile, working closely together, cooperation with anybody who can help to make the product better. Now, there's the difference. If I look around the world, and I found on Google a kind of list, what you see that there are countries that are extremely hierarchy oriented, that people are listening to their boss in these countries. Actually, they are asking their boss about all kinds of questions. Should your boss have all the answers? And they answer, in China, almost everybody. Ask the leader, follow the leader. And China, and Brazil. And even in Europe there are big differences. In Germany it's different, I can tell you. There's a big difference between Germany and Holland, for instance, but also Southern Europe. And the bottom, it's the Netherlands. I don't know about the difference between Norway and Denmark, because for me it's all Scandinavia. That's what we see. It's not. Sorry for this. Okay. But anyway, this is what you see. Now what I also found out, that's apart from India, that also the level of English is important. If people tend to work in a very structured way in countries where people don't speak English so well. What you're hearing now is what the English people call bad English. I speak bad English, but you understand me. We have a common way of communicating in English, our English. Actually what you're hearing is Dunglish, that's a mixture of Dutch and English, but we understand each other. Now, that's also something. In China, everybody speaks Chinese. It's pretty tough to work there. A couple of guys do, but not everybody. Far not everybody. And that's the same thing here. If you look at the Netherlands and Scandinavia again, everybody speaks English. It's kind of second language to a certain age, anyway. Now there's a correlation between this and the way people work in a structured way. Okay? They follow the leader, so they need process, just doing whatever is put in the guidelines. That's what they try to follow. And here in these countries, people are heading for context driven, or are heading for finding the best way to test in the circumstances. What's the message? What's the message? The message is that you have to be aware of that. If you're doing outsourcing, if you're outsourcing your stuff to China or India or whatever, okay? Be aware those people, great people by the way, in general smarter than we are, they are, okay? Because there are many people and their selection process is pretty tough. So if you're in the IT in this kind of countries, you're really, really good, dynamite people. The only problem is that they follow the leader, and on the other hand, yeah, their English could be improved over time. Now, it doesn't make sense to teach all these Chinese to speak English. That's not possible. We cannot do that. So we have to cope with that. And finally, let's try to speak an understandable type of English. I mean, what I see in some areas that are discussions over the internet and by tweets and whatever of words that I never heard of. Okay, they are using a kind of language where I need my dictionary. I think that's what we should. If I don't understand it, anybody here also doesn't understand it. Okay, that's my point. Thank you.